Oh hey, it's Creation Today, the I want to say brainchild of Eric Hovind, but you know, brain is a strong word. Anyway, we aren't here to see him, because today we are having a look at a sub-series from his network or whatever. But yeah, they came up with an absolutely fantastic name for this series, and if it hadn't been for the fact that it is on Eric's very creationist-believing channel, I would have thought it was a frickin' joke. They decided to call the series Creation Bites. Isn't that just wonderfully accurate for just all the wrong reasons, at least from their perspective? I see great things happening.
The imagination of evolution.
Oh geez, we already know where this is gonna go, don't we? Down the amazingly ironic rabbit hole of the creationist projection, where everything that can easily be said about creationism, because it's true, is then no you uno reversed back at science, but with it, you know, not being remotely true. Also, that's not an Uno card. It's the top hat from Monopoly, because you aren't even playing the same fucking game.
Evolutionists use a considerable amount of imagination in order to try and put some flesh on the bones of their very inadequate ideas.
See, what did I say about projection? Defining, as we always have to, evolutionists as the people who accept evolution as true, aka everyone with a brain and a completed 5th grade education. They don't need imagination, cause right, they have proof for the meat on their bones. Whatever the hell that means. Creationism, on the other hand, is literally 100% imagination because it has to be, because there's nothing backing it up, except a book of fairy tales, and as much as I would love to prove what a famous handsomer I am using a copy of Mary Poppins, I actually have to demonstrate that fact, mostly by selling t-shirts, aka science.
They're supposed proofs for different aspects of evolution.
Supposed? Well, okay now. He's got us there, lads and ladettes. He called the evidence for evolution supposed, so that means it's not real. Pack up our evolution evidence crap and let's just leave. I mean, what is it even? Like a couple of pamphlets and a picture of a T-Rex bone, yeah? It's not like the evidence for supposed evolution is an absolutely overwhelming amount to the point of it being a goddamn fact that only someone who has no idea what evolution is could ever call it supposed, right?
You see this in museum displays. For example, in London's Natural History Museum.
Oh hey, I've actually been there. Yeah, I go out sometimes, although let's be real, I didn't want to be there. And I just dragged myself along the ground, constantly shouting, "I'm so bored!" trying to get strangers to look at me and the people I'm with judgingly, apart from in the dinosaur section, because dinosaurs are cool, obviously, although apparently trying to sneak the T-Rex out under your shirt is frowned upon and really bloody obvious. Shut up, you don't know this isn't just what I look like.
One display was of a dinosaur called Centrosaurus.
Centrosaurus? So, a real dinosaur that is real. I wonder how you are going to make this proof that evolutionists am wrong. I'm guessing by bringing up something that has nothing to do with evolution, or perhaps something that is, but completely misunderstanding the point or how it works. AKA standard operating procedure for all creationists ever.
Centrosaurus was a plant eater that moved in large herds, said the display. Well, how do they know it moved in large herds?
Well, considering the fact that they found shitloads of them together, probably something like that. I mean, what other reason would there be so many of them together? I mean, unless some guy travelled back in time, herded a bunch of them together, smashed them all flat with a giant hammer and harvested the blood. But why would I do that? I mean, why would they do that? Certainly not in an effort to create some kind of dinosaur blood monster to protect their whiskey stash. That's for sure.
Like muskox and other herding animals, the display went on, Centrosaurus may have formed a defensive ring when attacked, keeping their young in the centre.
God, you just know that he is going to miss the obvious clues to answering his questions that are right there in the display. But like all creationists, he has a reading comprehension level akin to a mouldy loaf of bread, and thus won't be able to figure out what he's missed. Leading to then making a video where he looks stupid on the internet. Look, I never said it was a bad thing. Thank God that creationists were made in his image. You know, extremely silly.
Well, how do they know that's the case? How do they know that these animals formed a defensive ring?
They didn't? Did we read the same thing there, buddy? They may have done that. May is an important word in that sentence. It means might have, could possibly have done, not this is an absolute factual thing we are saying. And you can ask, so why are they making that guess if they don't know? And again I say, did we read the same thing? They are comparing them to creatures that we know do that. So there's a chance that creatures from way back then did that as well, seeing as it's likely an effective survival technique for the young'uns. You guys really need to actually sit down and think about the words you read before jumping to really silly conclusions like, I don't know, God did it.
Actually, it's to do with the name of the dinosaur, Centrosaurus.
No it isn't. I mean, it couldn't possibly be, because that wouldn't make any sense, Trosaurus. Look, I don't write these fucking shit jokes. I just write the normal, highly scientific, super clever script with the big boy word and everything in it. Think to myself, job well done, let's have a drink or 12. And then for some reason in the morning, it's this gibberitic filth filled with crude language and bad jokes. It's like some drunken moron defaced my beautifully crafted work. I don't understand how it happens, but I'll be damned if I'm writing it again. F that shit, penis joke.
Why is it called Centrosaurus? Saurus bit obviously is the standard ending suffix for a dinosaur.
Saurus means lizard, dude. It's Latin. It's not an English word that means, it's a dinosaur, bruh. In fact, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I believe that there are critters alive today that have Saurus in their Latin names. The fact that you don't seem to know about the whole Latin affixes does not bode well for this video going forth, although let's be fair, the creationism part didn't really need any help, did it?
What about the centro bit? It's to do with a circle.
No it's not. What gave you that idea? Oh, right, of course, the dumb. Yeah, no mate, if Saurus is Latin, then so is the centra part. Like, probably pronounced something like Kentron back in the day. It means point, pointed, or my favourite, prickly, because, really, who doesn't want a prickly lizard? But named that because of all the spiky little horns on it, and absolutely nothing to do with the hypothesis that they might have had the same behaviour as a modern creature. Did you even take 1 second to bother looking into any of this? It took my dumb, attractive arse like 30 seconds to find out that little tidbit. And even if I hadn't known it was Latin, it's not even remotely difficult to find. But there I go, expecting creationists to bother putting any effort into their baseless assertions. What a fool I am!
When these dinosaurs were discovered, a number of fossils were found in a circle.
Well, I have no idea where you got that little bit of information from, seeing as you don't link to any site or sources, or can research apparently. You merely have the website for your lot in your description, and assuming that you didn't just make that up in order to debunk it as a silly idea that no one ever said, because again, it's written right f***ing there why they're saying that. May be the case. But you wouldn't be dishonest, would you? Not a creationist. That's something they never do all the time. What's that old joke? How can you tell if a creationist is talking bullshit? Their lips are moving.
So the assumption is that they must therefore have herded in circles.
The only assumption that we can be making from anything presented in this video is that this chap hasn't got a f***ing clue what the hell he is talking about. They aren't actually even assuming anything. They are postulating. They are making an educated guess based on other knowledge. And you know what? This random sign that we are assuming isn't just a total fabrication. The sign isn't the sum total or even vaguely attempting to be the scientific knowledge we have about, well, anything. It's an interesting, quippy info bite designed to make people go, ooh, isn't that interesting? And nothing more. If you want to find out what the actual science says, one might, oh I don't know, look at a textbook or talk to an actual paleontologist. It's very curious that you lot never seem to do that for some reason. It's almost like you know you won't have shit to say about it.
And since there was a younger fossil, a younger sample towards the centre, they were saying that maybe they could have kept the young in the centre.
And maybe your parents would have done a better job if they hadn't let that horse repeatedly kick you in the face, or had held on tighter at the top of all those stairs so you didn't bounce down headfirst all the way. Maybe they should have taught you the value of actually considering the things you say before you say them so that they wouldn't have to wince in shame every time you opened your mouth. We can maybe all day. I just don't think it's going to change anything, mate.
Now just think about this use of imagination for a moment.
Oh shit, yeah, I forgot about this being the evolutionist's imagination when he's so far made up facts and also just made up definitions for words without even considering that they might be wrong. Yeah, mate, the imagination on display right now is pretty wild. Maybe you should, stop.
How can you possibly get that evidence from the fossil record?
They didn't. You made it up, and you also don't know what words mean. I mean, seriously, do you do this shit on purpose, or are you just this much of an absolute cretin? If you are doing it on purpose, I really can't fathom why. If you are preaching to the unquestioning choir, well, all you have to say is evolution bad, and you'll get all the praise and soapy tit wanks that you desire. And if you're doing it to convert people to your way of thinking, it's also obviously untrue that I can't see it working on anyone but the most credulous of fools. And really, who wants to hang out with people that are that stupid? They've got to be dumber than me. And I hang out with me all the time, and I'm just the worst.
Do they assume that the creatures were herding and standing in a defensive circle when suddenly they all got killed and fell over backwards and were fossilized where they were in a circle?
Yes, that's exactly what they think. Didn't you read it on the sign? It says it right here. No, wait, that says, "Dear creationist dipshits, please, 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 before you go out into the wild to tell everyone about how you am debunked Evolvey boys forever, maybe don't do that. Perhaps get a hobby instead of inflicting yourselves on the world, like the voracious mould you are."
Even one evolutionist has said,
Let me stop you right there and just quickly point out that no one cares what any single guy said one time about any particular aspect of science. No one person is the ultimate authority in any field, because that's not how that works. Even an expert in an area of scientific study can get things wrong, whatever their qualifications, because that's just how people work.
what paleontologists know about the past is as much a product of their imaginations as it is dusty fossils extracted from the rocks.
How about, right, you go and yourself, mate. Your opinion on the quality of the discoveries of paleontologists might hold any weight whatsoever if you could, read, let alone if you actually knew anything about the field, which I very much doubt you do. Considering the evidence presented, I'm pretty sure you don't know how to eat food without jamming it into various face holes before eventually hitting your mouth. And then there's the challenge of getting your hand out without biting it so hard and so often that you've lost several litres of blood. Honestly, it's amazing you can stay sat up.
Another example from London's Natural History Museum about the dinosaur Deinonychus.
Oh, for Christ's sake, here we go again. You know, when I first started watching this video and they brought up some stuff from an actual institution, I thought, God, am I going to have to deep dive to debunk this shit? But lo and behold, their first take was so frickin' stupid it took moments to refute. So I have high hopes for this one. Or is it low expectations? Either way, it should be good for a laugh.
It says these tiny agile meat-eaters hunted in packs to overpower much larger prey. How do they know it hunted in packs? Because where one of them was found, in fact 4 of them were found.
Okay, to be fair, that shouldn't say that as a definitive statement. There should be some may-haves, etc. Because the hunted pack idea, whilst somewhat logical, is still merely speculation. However, that doesn't mean that this random plaque or whatever in a museum is the definitive thoughts on the subject. And acting like it is frankly idiotic, if I hadn't made that painfully clear already.
Then it went on to say fossil remains show Deinonychus to have been a fast, agile hunter, easily able to overpower smaller dinosaurs with its ferocious claws and teeth. Well, it certainly has claws and teeth, and they're sharp, but that doesn't necessarily imply that they're ferocious.
Because as we all know, predators, A, don't have sharp claws and teeth, and B, are big cuddly bunnies that want to run up and give you a big hug. So next time you and me are out in the wilds and a big man-eating whatever jumps out of the bushes, you go snuggle it, I'll run off to get a camera or something to take a cute picture of you and put it on your social media. And definitely not scarper into the distance, never to be seen again while you disappear down the f***ing thing's throat. No.
And what about the idea that it was a fast, agile hunter? I don't mind that. It could have been a fast, agile hunter. It has legs that certainly appear that way. But it does not mean that there is a proof of that from the fossil record.
It's hilarious that you agree that the inference is probably correct, but it's not proven. Well, no, it's not proven. And no one who actually works with dinosaur fossils, apart from maybe some temp making the sign, is saying that's what happened. but that doesn't mean that speculation isn't something worth doing. But we do understand that it's not facts. You, of course, your speculation like God done it and we can prove flood, well, those speculations, not even based on something tangible, those are 100% true, and anyone who disagrees should be set on fire forever. It's not quite the same thing.
The display goes on to say the remains of several Deinonychus have been found near the body of a much larger herbivore, Tenontosaurus. Did they hunt it in a pack?
That's got a question mark. Please tell me you know what question marks are and what they mean when used in a question, for the love of God. Give me something that will make me believe you aren't a total moron. You can do it. I believe in you.
Well, that's an interesting use of imagination. A question is being asked to which there is no answer. Why should there be? 4 Deinonychuses hunting this one Tenontosaurus, and suddenly they all fell over dead, all 5 dinosaurs, and got fossilized. It doesn't make sense. It is a work of fiction and a work of imagination. And that, at the end of the day, is all the evolutionists have to hang on to.
Well, at least you know how questions work, but that only goes to prove that you are doing this lying shit on purpose, apparently. How disappointing and completely expected. Awesome. Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstar Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the